Well, hi guys. It is Saturday, May the 18th, I do believe. About 4:30. Had a bunch of running to do today. But I've been up here and underneath tightening on bolts. But I wanted to share this about this steering box. If you ever have to take one apart and take this gear out, it's really super simple to time it, because if you can see right there, there's a timing mark, a dot. And on this gear, maybe you can see it right there by my finger, there's a dot there. You line that dot up with that dot and you got her whipped. I'll get the camera set up and I'm going to set this thing in, so we'll be right back, so hang on. Okay, try to make this as simple as possible. As I said, you line the two dots up, and there may be some wiggling that has to be done, and it should just drop in. Let's see, where's my socket? I think that's it. And you should feel it go into the gear. Unless, there we go. Nope. You really got to hope and pray you got to tie the bar dead center. It feels like it is. We're down in there. That's seated. Oh, I don't like to do it this way. Take a little pressure off the front wheels. That can be such a pain in the butt. When you look in the books, it tells you how to do this. It looks so damn simple. Crowbar. Sometimes you gotta do a little wiggling. And a little tapping. No two of these are exactly alike as far as getting things lined up. It should pull right down on there now. It's kind of fun because you're trying to line about a half a dozen things up at one time. And the only reason I took the gear out of mine was simple. I didn't know what kind of condition the tapered spline at the top was in. Now, well, it turned. Relocate a few things here. You'll have to tell me if it moved. It should have. I don't think it is fully seated yet. It might be. There it is. Not real crazy about that. But that's the way that's supposed to be. I just don't like the amount of rock that has. Decisions. Well, I think I'll make a few phone calls and I'll get back with you guys here in a few minutes. Hang on. Okay guys, I'm going to try to put this back together now. I was always taught on these that anytime you get the cap and gear apart, to go ahead just love Permatex. Great stuff. You can get it to come out of the frickin' tube. There we go. Want to replace that anyway. Now, I was always taught to put a bit of grease under that cap and on top of the cap and go lightly around it on the inside of that gear and this outside edge. Also to put some grease in here and that. So I've done that. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of Permatex. Okay guys. Sometimes the batteries in this camera. Okay, I'll explain this again. I'm going to put the cap back on top. Now, I've always been told and taught to put grease on the top of that gear and put a light coating on the inside of the casting and on the gear here itself. I was always told to put a little grease around this O-ring seal, as well as some grease in that cap. And I put some Permatex on it to help seal it. Now, if this goes right, it'll be a bit of a fight to get it down, because it has suction, well, pressure buildup and suction. And it don't like to go sometimes. It's where it's nice to take this nut out of the top, this plug, but 9 times out of the 10 somebody's boogered it up and you can't get it out, which is the case with this one. Oh, horse's patootie. Well, this is the exact same thing, except it's got this brass plug in it. And I am thinking, rather than fighting this, to get it on, we're just going to use this one. Now, 1855, they run a hose from this cap up to the oil cooler to circulate this oil. Grease gun here. I've already had enough surprises for today. If you know what I mean. Bought new tie rod ends and they're all the wrong thing. Go figure, right? And of course there's got to be some burrs on this thing. No biggie. It's only a flesh wound. Now if I'm right, that should just go on down. Aniseed. That's what we want to see. And that is that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I believe I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached sometimes. I'm standing on the dumb things. Yeah, it's bad enough you gotta buy parts. And sometimes even the parts guys get it wrong. You know? Okay. Put that on my list of things to get this weekend. But that's basically how you put one of these back together. Minus the drama. Bought 2 new tie rods. They said they were the big size. And then one we looked at, end over here, had the big end. Got it off underneath. Got the new one, got it all greased up, put together, went to put it on, and it don't fit. It's got a small end and a big end on that wheel over there. And this one is the small ends. And I still got one to get off the steering arm that hasn't come loose yet. Yay. So, that's going to be a job for this weekend too. Get that off tomorrow. Because I'm see if we still got movement. Oh, that brought her all together. Yeah, that'll work. She's tight. The guys, see if we can get you up here. It's kind of been some days you get a lot of time to work on stuff. Some days you just, like today, bunch of running to do. Go here, there, and everywhere. Get this, get that. Go to the grocery store, you know. And you just run out of time. And that's what I've done today. It's about 5 o'clock right now. Or 5:36 probably. And I'm going to hook these hydraulic lines back up to this. And it can sit and do its thing. And we're going to call it here. So guys, we'll see you next time. And as always, please comment, hit that like button, and ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you next time. And I'm sorry I didn't get a lot done today, but that's just the way it works. Sometimes you got a lot of time, sometimes you don't. Today was one of those don't days. See you next time. Well, hi guys. It is Sunday evening. I'm going to say about 5:30. I have the fan belt taken off. I have the steering arm taken off, and the serial numbers found. Oddly, it has a double X on that part number. Never seen that before. But that is all wallered out. It does not fit the end, so gotta get a new used one. Got one of the old tie rod ends ready to go. The two new ones going back. I cleaned this one up as best I could. Put it in here. I haven't had much time today kind of to do much of anything to this thing, and that all started last night with a phone call. My girlfriend broke down. Went after it, and I truly got a gripe here. All I could do was shut the barn up and be in a hurry. Said, screw this thing down. We'll have it speaking for a moment. Now, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to a lot of things, but she has a Chrysler minivan, and well, let's just say I am less than impressed with it. It didn't want to go into gear or stay in drive, you know, without revving up and doing. It'll move and then it goes crazy, and you know. So I looked and looked and looked last night for a dipstick to check transmission fluid. There is none. looked it up online. You pull the engine dipstick out and then clean it off, and put 2 marks with a Sharpie on the engine stick on the backside, one at 1 5/8, the other at 2 1/8. And that's your oil range for the transmission. Now, they don't tell you whether it's sitting there cold or hot. They just said, this is the way you do it. Well, I don't know which way is proper. But after putting 2 quarts of oil in it, it stopped whining, but it still didn't want to move. So that started a whole thing, I guess you could say. And last night, the business where this broke down at were like, you got to get this out of there. You got to get it out. You got to get it out. It's like, dude, it's Saturday night. It's 7 o'clock. You can't find anybody in a tow company. They're off, Well, they aren't having none of it, So this morning, me and my son go down there, and we tried, checking the oil. We tried several different things, and finally had to call for a tow truck. Now, when we arrived there had been a note placed on the windshield by the business, signed and dated for today's date, the 19th, and that we had 12 hours in which to move said vehicle. And it was dated 8 o'clock, basically 8 o'clock last night on the 18th, or 17th, 18th, whatever. I don't know. And we get there and we're doing our thing to it. A sheriff's deputy pulls in. And when we got there, we walked into the business and told them, we're here to get this van out of here. We're trying some things. One way or another, it's leaving. That was before we even knew the nastiogram was on the windshield. And they I don't want to say a little snotty about it. Well, you need to take care of it right away. We need it gone. And it's kind of like, whatever, I'm going as quick as I can. Well, we go out there, find the nastiogram. We're trying a few things. We've already called for the wrecker. And sheriff's deputy pulls in, asks us, what we're doing and this and that. And I said, well, we're here trying to get this thing running and moving. I said, the transmission's out. We got a tow truck on the way. Oh, you do? Yeah. And they said, who? And we told them, well, I'll call this other tow truck and tell them not to worry about it. They was all ready to impound the car to some undisclosed location and cause me a whole new ass ache of biblical proportions trying to find it. It's, what is it with people anymore? I really don't get it. I mean, it's Sunday. You know how hard it is to get a tow truck on Sunday? And what aggravates me is there's several trucks and trailers around here that I own, but you can't get the van up it because it doesn't have enough ground clearance. Just irritating. So we got that taken care of. Then in the midst of all this, my son gets a phone call, and it's just, I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up. And I'm not going to go into it because, quite frankly, it's not even my business. But it's a total load of BS that he got involved in this morning on the phone. Oh, yeah. To say it's been an interesting weekend, that I've really got nothing done that I intended to get done, well, that's not the, that's not far from the truth now. It's, yeah, it's been interesting. On a weather note, all week long they had been predicting showers and thunderstorms, heavy downpours and stuff for Sunday night, Monday into Tuesday. Well, guess what? There's no rain until Thursday, and it'll be a storm, no doubt. And this thing's still tore apart, and ground is about ready to be worked. Neato. So much for believing the weatherman, right? So guys, tomorrow morning I gotta go over and switch some parts around, get some parts on order. I'm hoping to put new tie rod on this side, the right hand side, and put this old steering arm and the old tie rod back on the left side and start getting it put back together, because it'll probably take several days to get that steering arm for this. So, it is what it is. But like I said, you get days or weekends like this where you got big plans, you're going to do this and knock it out, and there goes the train off the tracks real quick with one phone call. Yeah. Just when you're thinking you're making good progress, nope, we got other plans for you now. But with it at this point, one new tie rod and get it adjusted up somewhat decent. Get this tire off, my tire on it, whichever way, dished in or out, it doesn't matter. I can put the radiator, get everything back in, and kind of go from there. I was figuring on it was going to rain. I was going to do a little paint work while everything was apart, but I think that's going out the window now for a later, fun time. So, yeah. Another typical day in paradise. One step forward and 3 steps back. So, I'll put what I had, with yesterday, I'll put it on the beginning of this and added this to it, because it's just, sometimes it just wasn't meant for you to get anything done. And today was one of those days, or this weekend was one of those weekends. So, we'll see you next time, and as always, please comment, hit that like button, and ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you next time. And I hope things go better then. We'll see you guys.